Hi there. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you were able to get outside a little bit today. It's so nice out there. Um, so I have been trying every week to kind of have a topic that we focus on that's not necessarily activities for your child that focuses on their goals, but just ways you can focus on communication and language in your home. So I hope everybody was doing some self-care last week. I know I kind of picked that topic. It's one of those topics I try to continue to work on, but I picked it just because we had found out that Friday before that we weren't coming back to school for the rest of the year, and that was really a kind of a lot to take in. So, it was kind of stressful for me as not only as an educator or as a speech pathologist, but also as a parent, knowing that I'm not going to see your kids before summer, and my own kids aren't going to see their teachers before summer. So that was really kind of hard. So I hope that you all did that. I hope that some of those resources were helpful, and I do hope that you continue to move along that path. But today we are going to talk about modeling. So in the beginning of all this at-home learning, I was sending home some videos of modeling for going on a walk, for using chalk on the driveway. I think I made one for playing a game, but I don't think I sent it because it was just really not well done. But I still might maybe edit it and add to it and send that for you guys. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. So I figured that maybe I could go in depth a little bit more, that maybe some of you might need a little refresher on what modeling is. Maybe some of you don't even know, and that's okay. We are all doing this together. So I have a core board here. So some of your students are using this. Some of your children are not. Some of your children are verbal communicators, even though sometimes we might feel it's a little limited. Some are using this. I know some of your children are using devices. But in general, overall, this is a communication system. I know some of you may have gotten these come home that first week of at-home learning and may not even know what this was. And so that's what I'm hoping to help here today. So I'm going to kind of break this into two parts. The first part is modeling for our kiddos who are using a language system. And then the second part is modeling for students or your children who are not necessarily using a language system that looks like this, that is something they might take with them. So when we talk about modeling, it's basically using language to talk to your child. So if I look at my core board, and I think what I'm going to do is do another video with more specific details about what a core board and core vocabulary is. But for the basic sake, core vocabulary is 80% of the words we use. There's been a lot of research done on this, and 80% of the words we use include pronouns, they include action words, they include prepositions, they include question words, and descriptors. We don't go around talking in nouns. So that's how this is broken up. So when you are using a communication system, it's almost best to think about it as a second language. So for example, or maybe even a third language, because I know some of you have bilingual homes already, so now you're multilingual homes. So you want to pick a word and point to whatever word you're kind of focusing on. Start small. You don't have to be using, every word you say does not have to be on this board or in their device or touched. Even if it is in their device, it doesn't have to be touched. I want you to start with just one word that you're focusing on. So our word of the week this week is look. And this is a good example because not all boards have look on them, but this one does not, but it has see. So those words can be interchangeable. They have very similar meanings. You're looking at something, you're seeing something. Look out the window. Oh, look, I see a bird out the window. Kind of the same concept. So what I want you to do is just focus and pick one activity that you're going to use that for. So our word is see, or our word is look. So this week we might focus on, I think one of the activities was an I Spy or an I See game. So you can play that, and sometimes it helps, especially if you're new to this. First of all, don't worry about not knowing where a word is in front of your child. It's okay. I work with your children every day, and I don't know where all the words are. And first of all, it's okay for you not to know. But second of all, it's good for your kid to see that you're looking for it too. And you can even be silly about it. Sometimes I'm super silly, like, where is that word see? I don't see it. Where is it? Let's look. And then I kind of like use my finger to scan, and then we find it. So what I'm going to do, one of the things I do at school with your children is I circle a word. So I'm going to just take a dry erase marker and circle the word see. And that helps it stick out to both of you, to you and your child. And then you just use that word. So if we were playing the I Spy game, it can be like, I see something that is red. Do you see something that is red? Or I think let's keep it simple, and our word is look. Like, let's look for something red. And then you can still look for it, even if your child is not looking for something red. You can be like, oh, I found something. We don't have anything red here, so let's change it to orange. Like, let's look for something orange. I'm going to look for something orange. And it's okay to repeat yourself a few times. That's okay. Just keep pointing to that word. And then you can be like, oh, look, I found something orange. So that's modeling. It's really just kind of talking out loud and pointing to the word you're working on the board. So now let's say we want to work on this at lunchtime. I feel like meal time, snack time, lunchtime, breakfast are really easy to incorporate this. Dinner time usually I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but dinner time sometimes gets a little hectic in our house, especially when we're not staying at home and we're coming home and we're trying to get home from work and school and get everything together. So start small. Start with snack times or start with breakfast, whichever time you're eating that seems most relaxed, that maybe it's just you and your child and not the whole family. But so I'm going to circle 2 this time because eat and drink are 2 easy ones to work on. What's great about these 2 words, if you're going to start with them this week, like today or tomorrow, is that they are like highly preferred. That's the word I was looking for, sorry. Highly preferred. So eat and drink are 2 things that, like, if you're really thirsty, you really want something to drink, and if you're hungry, you really want something to eat. So these are good to model. So you can say, like, oh, it's time to eat snack. Let's eat some snack. What should we eat? Should we eat popcorn, or should we eat an apple, or should we eat carrots? And then wait for your child to talk. Your child does not need to use this. If they just go right and say carrots, that's okay. You don't need to make them point to it right now. I just want you using it as a way to communicate with them. And then you could say, oh, what should we drink? Should we drink some water? Should we drink some milk? Should we drink some juice? And then again, wait for them to respond. What I think is important to know about this is that, one, it's okay to repeat the word a bunch of times. That's actually helpful with building that vocabulary word, with building the meaning behind that vocabulary word, and with building the location for your student to find it on their communication system. Second of all, it's okay to just do one word. I think the big thing here is that initially I want you to work on connecting with your child using this versus enforcing them to use it. Just use this as a way to start building some of that language with them. And if they're not even interested in it, it's okay. Just keep doing it. That's perfectly fine. All right, so that's if you have one of these. If you have a child who's not necessarily using a system, modeling is still talking out loud about language, but you're going to kind of talk in your head. You're not going to be pointing at words, obviously, but you might just like think about how you can work on providing more context clues and more vocabulary to enhance whatever you're talking about. So for example, if you're looking out the window and you're like, in your head, you're saying this in your head, gosh, the sun is out, it looks bright, there's, like not a cloud in the sky, it's warm out, maybe we should go play outside. So you might have all those thoughts in your head, but then when you go to your child, you might say, hey, let's go outside. Include them in that head conversation you just had. So tell them like, hey, look, it's sunny outside, it's warm, like it might be a really good day to go play outside. Like let's go maybe play soccer, or let's go throw the ball in the yard. That's kind of building in those clues of we go outside when it's sunny and warm out. Now, tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be cold and rainy. So then you might tomorrow look out the window and say, hey, look out there. It is rainy and cold. It is a good day to stay inside and maybe play a game. So that's kind of that modeling piece. So you're kind of like having the conversation you already have with yourself in your head, but you're putting it out there for your child to start learning those concepts about why we do the things we do. So even another great place to do this is when you're cooking dinner, so or cooking breakfast or whatever you're making. But even if you're not following a recipe, if you're just like making a sandwich, you might say, okay, we're gonna take out 2 pieces of bread, we're going to put some cheese on it, we're going to put some ham on it, and then we're going to put it together, cut it in half, and maybe let's have some fruit with it. Let's get some strawberries, and then you're going to say, okay, let's cut the stems off the strawberries. So you're really just talking out loud, but you're providing them with all that language to give them some of that vocabulary. So that is modeling. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I know sometimes I come on here and talk too fast. I'm still trying to get used to these videos. I'm not the biggest fan of making. I mean, I'm happy to make these for you guys, but I just always feel like I'm kind of critiquing myself. But if you have any questions about this, please let me know, and then I will come back on later this week and talk more about this core vocabulary and why things are colored different colors. And then I'm also going to be trying to provide some samples to you guys of different activities and some words you can model through it. And then please always go back to the word. I've been doing the word of the week since we've been doing at-home learning. So if you just want to go back to those beginning words and just just go through them and practice, like pick a word per day. And so one of our words I think was go. I think that was last week's was go. And just pick one activity that you're going to do go. And I think I gave you a couple of activities to use that. So just do it and use their system to do it. Like, oh, look at it's going. And then if you, again, are not using a system, talk about all the things that do go, because go means more than just like ready, set, go. It can also mean a place you're going to. There's a lot of meanings. You can talk about going fast, going slow, where we like to go, where we don't like to go. So there's a lot to do with those core vocabulary words, even if you're not using a communication system per se. So I hope you guys get to enjoy the rest of your day. And please, as always, reach out with any questions. Bye.